بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We pray that on this day, the 11th day of the month of Dhul Qa'dah, we are just 1 month away from the Salat of Eid al-Adha, that Allah might help us to live to see as well Eid al-Adha. Now then, today's brief talk, I have just given a long lecture here in Johor Bahru on the Quran and the sacred system of time, and a long session of question and answer. And now after the session and all the signing of the books is finished, I'm now recording a brief video on Pakistan's response to India's aggression. Pakistan's response to India's aggression. This is our topic for today. And we have to put into the record, sadly so, that Pakistan has lost a wonderful opportunity for demonstrating wisdom in diplomacy, following in the Sunnah of Prophet Muhammad, Allah's blessings be upon him. And this is perhaps because they do not have the knowledge. They don't have the knowledge. Their diplomats don't have the knowledge. Their politicians don't have the knowledge. And most of all, their generals don't have the knowledge with which to respond to the current situation. It began with a horrendous act of, a despicable act of terrorism which occurred in Kashmir maybe a week or so ago. And we recorded a video in which we demonstrated our abhorrence, we rejected and we condemned that act of terrorism, of the killing of innocent people by a brutal, heartless people who killed them. And we said that there were 4 possible candidates to be blamed for that act of terrorism. But now it has bowed down to 2 from 4. From what began as 4, we're now left with 2. The 4, we said, were number 1, India herself being engaged in an act of state-sponsored terrorism, because the government of India never accepted the partition of India into India and Pakistan, never accepted the birth of Pakistan, has remained in relentless hostility to Pakistan from day one that this government entered into as government. And therefore, this falls into a pattern that state-sponsored terrorism was the cause of it. But we don't have the evidence that India did it. But this is one possible candidate. And the purpose, of course, was in pursuit of the relentless policy of destruction of Pakistan, that this was meant to pave the way for destroying Pakistan. The second possibility, we said, was that the people of Kashmir who were oppressed, why do you reject and protest against my use of the people, my use of the term oppressed? Ask the people of Kashmir. Ask them if you have the courage to do so. Ask them if you have the integrity to do so. Ask them if you have the common sense to do so. Ask the people of Kashmir, are you oppressed? Don't ask the Indian armed forces. Don't ask the Indian government, because they are the oppressors. So ask the people of Kashmir, are you oppressed? And hear what answer they would give if you have any integrity in you. And so we said perhaps it was the oppressed people of Kashmir, the freedom fighters, who were responsible for that act of terrorism. And we said, no, we don't think that was likely, because they're destroying their own livelihood. The third possibility, we said, was perhaps Pakistan involved in acts of state-sponsored terrorism, or there were jihadi forces in Pakistan who were responsible for it. And if that was the case, we ask Allah to kindly expose them. And when they are exposed and we know who in Pakistan did it, we want to take hold of them and hand them over to the government of India so that they could be tried and punished with the punishment they deserve to receive. That is integrity. Don't come to me and tell me I am biased. Go your way. I am not biased. I'm following truth. And then we said that there was a fourth possible actor. An actor which could have been could have organized this act of this terrorism in Kashmir because of their relentless hostility for Pakistan, and that was Israel, because Israel considers Pakistan's nuclear weapons to be a threat to Israel. And so the Israeli Mossad could have been the answer, the hidden force which planned and executed the act of terrorism. Now then, in the events which have followed since my last video on this subject, it is now clear that whoever planned and executed that act of terrorism in Kashmir did it for the purpose of provoking war between India and Pakistan. And they want the war between India and Pakistan for purposes which will be beneficial to India and beneficial to Israel. And so I have come to the conclusion, whether you agree with me or you don't, this is my conclusion, that I dismiss the possibility of Kashmiri freedom fighters being responsible, and I also dismiss the possibility that Pakistan's government or Pakistani jihadi forces could have been responsible. However, I commend the government of Pakistan for having responded in a very mature and sensible and wise way when they made a call for an independent commission of inquiry to inquire into the act of terrorism, to locate who is responsible. And this is the way we should have responded, and this is the way that Pakistan responded. And we commend those in Pakistan who responded that way. Why did India not accept that very sensible response from Pakistan? Establish a commission of inquiry to investigate into the act of terrorism, an independent commission of inquiry. India never responded, and perhaps the reason why India never responded is because India does not want a commission of inquiry, because a commission of inquiry might be dangerous for India. That is a likelihood from the refusal of India to respond to Pakistan's sensible response to the commission of inquiry. Now then, India eventually responded to the act of terrorism by attacking Pakistan, attacking what they consider to be centers of jihadi terrorism in Pakistan, with a number of missiles being fired into Pakistan. How did Pakistan respond? How should a Muslim respond in such a situation? Pakistan lost a golden opportunity, an opportunity which may never come again, to display amazingly wise diplomacy. What Pakistan should have done, if Pakistan had the knowledge of what to do, if Pakistan had known about the Sunnah of Prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam, Pakistan should have responded to the attack from India's armed forces with this declaration. Is there no better way for us than war to try to solve this problem? Is there no better way for us than fighting and violence to try to solve this problem? We are prepared to accept those who have been killed by your launch, your military attack on Pakistan. We are prepared to accept the damages which have been done in your military attack on Pakistan in order to keep peace and to prevent war, and to ask you, is there no better way? Can we not establish a commission of inquiry? We are making this plea in the full daylight of history. We want all of mankind to witness our credentials. We are a people who prefer peace rather than war. We declare once again we are not responsible for this act of terrorism. We do not know who committed the acts of terrorism in Kashmir, but we did not do it. And we are asking once again for an independent commission of inquiry to be established to locate who are responsible for this act of oppression. If Pakistan had responded in this way, Pakistan would have won the admiration of all of mankind. Pakistan would have established a diplomatic standpoint of strength and superiority, diplomatic superiority for the way forward. Pakistan would have recognized that the purpose of that act of terrorism was to provoke war between India and Pakistan. And there are only two candidates who would want to provoke war between India and Pakistan, and that is Israel, and that is the present government of India. So Pakistan would have put a stop to the possibility of war, because Pakistan would have said, we are prepared to accept our dead. We are prepared to accept damages done by your military attack. We will accept it because we say to you, is there no better way for us to respond to this situation? We prefer peace to war. If Pakistan had done that, that would have been the sunnah of the Prophet, Allah's blessings be upon him. That would be in conformity with the law of war in Islam. Pakistan did not do it. Pakistan chose to respond to fire with fire, which is not the diplomacy of the Prophet ﷺ. The likelihood now is that there's going to be a spiral until Pakistan backs down, because every time Pakistan responds, India will escalate. Every time that Pakistan responds, India will escalate, because the purpose of the act of terrorism in Kashmir, the purpose was to provoke war between India and Pakistan, and it seems as though the government of Pakistan and the armed forces of Pakistan do not understand how to read events unfolding in that part of the world. I will have more to say if the situation continues to spiral out, but I cannot help a people who do not have the knowledge that they should have had of the Quran and the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. Thank you. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.